18 hours. My name is Obsta Mbebe. First, we take a look at stories making headlines. Police have charged a 15-year-old boy of Lusaka's George compound with defilement. The Attorney General Chamber says it was wrong for the Constitutional Court to order the ministers and deputy ministers to repay the salaries and allowances that they got after the dissolution of Parliament. And in foreign news, the most powerful Caribbean hurricane in nearly a decade has hit Haiti. And now the news in detail. Police have charged a 15-year-old boy of Lusaka's George compound with defilement. This follows an incident where the grade 7 pupil allegedly defiled a 2-year-old girl of the same compound on Sunday. The girl has since undergone medical treatment. Here is a report.
A 15-year-old boy accused of committing a crime that many believe is beyond his years. When a mob got a hold of him after the alleged act, I asked him why. His answer was just as careless as his excuse. Police have charged the juvenile with defilement.
Tell us what has happened to the male juvenile.
Yes, that male juvenile who is alleged to have defiled a female juvenile has been charged with defilement. What the law states is that only someone or a male who is below the age of 12 is presumed not to be capable of having carnal knowledge of any person. So in this case, when we look at the age of this juvenile, he is 15. So according to law, he is liable.
The victim, who was rushed to the university teaching hospital after the incident, has been reviewed by doctors. The medical report will be part of key evidence in the case. She was discharged on Monday. Penopsikazwe, TV2 News, Lusaka.
The Ministry of General Education has called on the teaching fraternity to reflect on its contribution towards national development as Zambia joins in celebrations to mark World Teachers' Day tomorrow. Minister of General Education spokesperson Hilary Chipango says teachers should be saluted for their role in educating the masses in the country. Mr. Chipango says the Minister of Education will use the occasion to honor and award selected teachers for their hard work. He has since called on teachers to turn out to celebrate their day tomorrow in their various locations. Mr. Chipango was speaking in an interview with ZNBC News in Osaka. Teachers will tomorrow celebrate their day under the theme Valuing Teachers, Improving Their Status. Basic Teachers Union of Zambia Secretary General Geoffrey Simuntala says the teaching profession has evolved over the years. Mr. Simuntala said Zambian teachers are highly skilled and learned to make a positive contribution to all professions. And Zambia Union of Teachers General Secretary Newman Bubala said teachers have made positive contributions to the communities.
Behavior exhibited in the community is owed to teachers. Teachers play a major role in shaping conduct in children and contribute to the country's development. Every professional has passed through the hands of a teacher at various stages in life. Therefore, their day has been celebrated not only by the teachers, but everyone who has been in contact with these professionals. One such person is former Defense Deputy Minister, who feels Teachers' Day is an important day to every occupation.
So as a person who has also passed through the hands of the teachers, I recognize this day to be a very, very economical day. It's very, very important to the community, important to the nation, and I think to everyone in society. Teachers contribute a lot to the development of the country, because without knowledge, I don't know what one would do. Without knowledge, I don't know how people can survive, especially in this modern world where you know very well that technology has changed so much.
On 5th October is Teachers' Day, and it will be celebrated under the theme Valuing Teachers, Improving Their Status. The Teachers' Union are happy that the teaching profession has developed positively over the years.
In terms of, I think, being a help to a community, I think teachers, I think in terms of their contributions, it cannot be overemphasized. Today you are talking about even a journalist who is able to read and write, and in a position to report that accurately and report nicely.
So I would like to say that through education, their lives are shaped into a well-defined way of life. It's through the teacher. So that's why I always say, bring your children to school. When they come to school, their world completely opens up, because they are no longer confined to a certain understanding. Their world opens up. Therefore, it's very important for each child to be brought to school, and we make sure that we help that child to become what he wants to be in life.
And for many teachers, the profession has been fun.
Mary Mwingapo, how long have you been teaching?
For 3 years now.
How's been your experience as a teacher?
Quite exciting, yes. We always have our moments as a teacher, but overall it's been an exciting experience.
Teaching is one of the professions that are at times exposed to different types of situations. At times, teachers are sent to operate in areas where there is no electricity and other luxuries, but just chalk and a blackboard. Teofista Lungu, TV2 News in Lusaka.
Road Transport and Safety Agency RATSA is seeking a ban on the use of second-hand motor vehicle tires. RATSA Chief Executive Officer Zindawa Soko said the transport agency has since drafted a law awaiting approval from government regarding the proposed ban. Mr. Soko said at the moment, RATSA is working with the Zambia Bureau of Standards to deal with the situation. Speaking during a press briefing in Osaka, Mr. Soko said the use of second-hand tires is among the causes of road traffic accidents in the country. And just now, we take a break. Still ahead, Lusaka Province Minister threatened to revoke title deed for one property in Lusaka's Emersdale area. Plus other stories. Keep watching TV2. Lusaka Province Minister Jaffe Mwakalombe has threatened to revoke the title deed for the property whose owner has built on a brick wall that has blocked a road in Lusaka's Emersdale area. Mr. Mwakalombe is saddened with the levels of illegalities in land allocation in Lusaka. He said this when he toured some structures that have been built illegally in the area. Teofista Lungu gives us a report.
It is the obligation of City Planning Department to ensure that upcoming structures are orderly. This is not just for beauty purposes, but for a safe, healthy and habitable environment. And this can only be achieved through adherence to building regulations and requirements provided for by the laws governing developments. Unfortunately, this has not been the case in Lusaka, as soon the city might be developed into one big village due to illegal infrastructure. A case in point is that of a Zambian business person of Indian origin who was built in the middle of the newly constructed road. The owner of this structure has told TV2 News in a telephone interview that the construction has all the legal papers. However, the authorities in Lusaka are left wondering on how the papers were acquired and has vowed to revoke them.
You cannot have this many road running straight into your house. What if the police are chasing a thief? And he's driving, he thinks this is the shortest road. What will happen? He will just come straight into this place. So the responsibility of government is from the legality of the land and also safety of its citizens. So to me, whether she has got the document, it is our responsibility as government to secure people's lives, our people's lives. And any life that can be lost because of negligence here, it is the responsibility of this government. Therefore, as we are in government, we are going to protect everyone. And therefore, that's where we start from.
The neighbors no longer have access to this road, neither do they have access to a garden, as the developer has taken up the land meant for the garden.
We need to be protected by the government itself. We even, as you know, we were we were digging, tilling, getting food from here. You just come and, they overtake.
Where we are, it's supposed to be a play park and not anything else. But so that we've got legal papers from the council. If you want, go and deal with the council, not with us. Where you're standing here, there's supposed to be a roundabout where cars should be passing.
However, this is not the only structure in the middle of the road. Another structure is a makeshift store constructed in the same area. The good news is that the owners of the makeshift shops are willing to demolish their structures. Teofista Lungu, TV2 News in Lusaka.
The Lusaka City Council LCC has unearthed a scam in which some people are allegedly torching markets and makeshift stores to get compensation. LCC Assistant Public Relations Manager Brenda Katongola says preliminary investigations have revealed that after the local authority noticed an increase in fires across the city, she further disclosed to TV2 News in an interview that 20 makeshift stores were gutted at Luanga Market in Osaka's garden compound over the weekend.
Received reports of about 20 makeshift stores that were burnt down in Luanga Township, that's around Garden Township area. We have discovered that most of those are makeshift stores made of planks, cardboard paper and plastics. We have investigated and this has come to our attention, not formally but informally, that most of these people are torching their shops or their stores, because we can't call them shops, they are actually makeshift stores. They are torching them deliberately so that they can get compensation, for them. The point in question is the Bauleni fire, that broke out at the market, and there was an announcement that they will be compensated.
And police is concerned with the recent occurrences where unscrupulous people that have resorted to burning makeshift stores and markets in Lusaka. Spokesperson Esther Katongo has since warned perpetrators of the acts that they will go without punishment. She told TV2 News in a statement that the public must join hands with the Zambia police by bringing the culprits to book. The Lusaka City Council LCC and Millennium Challenge Cooperation Account Zambia is training 18 community mobilizers that will be sensitizing the public on the effects of disposing of solid waste in the drainage system. And the Lusaka City Council Assistant Public Relations Manager Brenda Katongola has urged the public to help in the management of solid waste disposal and management. Ms. Katongola added that council police officers have also been assigned to patrol around the drainage system and take legal action against those that litter the facilities. More in this report.
Of hand in most parts of Lusaka. Newly constructed drainages are being filled up with solid waste, which has raised concern among members of the public.
Manje bantu nje bana problem maningi bameka mukati ndio ma problem bota ila panja
sama rapo chanu yanga na pofaka mabini vima green not to tell my drainage maleta matenda ndawa ya mvula.
Not right to throw garbage anyhow, especially when it's coming to rain season. Yeah, because you find that many diseases will be able to come up.
Meanwhile, the Lusaka City Council, together with the Millennium Challenge, is conducting a training for workers who will be assigned to sensitize the public on the effects of inappropriate disposal of waste. And Lusaka City Council Assistant Public Relations Manager Brenda Katongola has urged the public to cooperate in paying subsidies in order to enable the council to work more efficiently.
And our emphasis is on payment of these solid waste services that we provide, so that we help them. We help them, and they in turn help us, manage the city. We charge so that we can be able to, manage our machines. We've got machinery that we need to manage. We've got different services that we need to cater for, in order for us to provide that service.
However, workers have been engaged by the Lusaka City Council to clear out the blocked drainages, although it is expected that all members of the public will take special interest in keeping the environment clean. Kabembe Kasabola, TV2 News in Lusaka.
The Attorney General Chamber says it was wrong for the Constitutional Court to order the ministers and deputy ministers to repay the salaries and allowances that they got after the dissolution of Parliament. The state says the judgment by the Constitutional Court contradicts the constitutional provision that forbids forced labor and slavery. The state has further argued that the court should use its jurisdiction to reopen the matter and consider the rights of the respondents. In its submissions to the court, the state has argued that apart from working for the salary in question, the respondents remained in their offices following the directive from the head of state. This is according to the affidavit in support of the notice of motion filed by Chief State Advocate Joe Simachera. Hector Simfukwe has more in this report.
Vice President Inonge Wina from the proceedings where the UPND are challenging the manner in which the Constitutional Court handled their petition. The UPND went to the High Court alleging that their right to be heard was violated by the Constitutional Court after it dismissed their petition following the lapse of the 14 days period. But the state have argued that President should be removed from the proceedings because they enjoy immunity from any legal suit. The Attorney General's chambers have further argued that the office of the Vice President is a creation of the Constitution and thus she cannot be sued. Meanwhile, the state has urged the Constitutional Court to reopen the case in which it ordered deputy ministers and ministers to pay back their salaries and allowances which they received after the dissolution of Parliament. The state argued that the decision by the court is an injustice, especially that the respondents were directed to remain in office because of the ambiguous constitutional provision. The Attorney General said the court agreed that some provisions are ambiguous and urged Parliament to address them. In this matter, the opposition UPND challenged the stay of ministers and their deputies in office following the dissolution of Parliament. In its judgment, the Constitutional Court asked the ministers to leave their offices and ordered them to pay back the salaries and allowances. But the state is opposed to this line of thinking, saying the court should have looked at other circumstances. Hector Simfukwe, TV2 News in Lusaka.
Kitwe Mayor Christopher Kangombe has scooped the presidency of the Local Government Association of Zambia. Mr. Kangombe, who was adopted by the Patriotic Front for the position, polled 56 votes, beating his only rival, Chilanga District Council Chairperson Teresa Marira of the UPND, who got 42 votes. Presiding officer Monde Mumba declared Mr. Kangombe winner this afternoon just before the closure of the two-day extraordinary meeting in Dola. The position of honorary treasurer has been taken by Precaria Mwanangombe after polling 68 votes against David Mumba, who managed only 30 votes. Meanwhile, Karushi Mayor Rashida Mlenga is the vice president for Copper Belt, while Lusaka Mayor Wilson Kalumba is the vice president for Lusaka Province. The two were elected unopposed, just like 8 other vice presidents from the remaining 8 provinces. Meanwhile, Luansha Mayor Nathan Chanda has been re-elected chairman of the Alliance for Mayors and Municipal Council Leaders on HIV/AIDS initiative. Mr. Chanda will be deputized by Lundazi District Chairperson Maggie Mkandawire from Eastern Province. We take another break. We have more news. When we return, don't go away. In international news, the most powerful Caribbean hurricane in nearly a decade has hit Haiti, bringing 230 kilometers per hour winds, heavy rain, and dangerous storm surges. Hurricane Matthew, a Category 4 storm, made landfall at the southwestern tip at about 11 hours GMT. The U.S. National Hurricane Center, NHC, said Haiti was getting everything a major hurricane can throw at them. Reports from the southern coast spoke of communities underwater and buildings stripped of roofs. One resident too ill to leave their home was killed when waves struck in the town of Port Salut. And in sports, Russia-based polo-polo midfielder Samba Lungu has joined the squad ahead of Sunday's World Cup qualifier against Nigeria. Lungu joined the team in Dola on Tuesday afternoon. Meanwhile, the Chipolopolo Soccer Fans Association has called on supporters to turn up in numbers on Sunday. And Nyeneti has described the final 23-man squad Wetson Yirenda has assembled as a mixture of experience and talent. Nyeneti was speaking to TV2 Sports in Lusaka.
Those that are behind us with Mr. Yota Mwanza is that let's troop to Ndola on Sunday for the game. The game is crucial, looking at the teams that are in our group, and expect more fans to come from Lusaka so that we can fill up the stadium. The squad, I think it's a best team that has been assembled. I've been traveling with the national team for past games, but I've seen that he has blended the old and the new players in the team. And looking at that, surely Zambia will carry the day. We are beating Nigeria, and I can assure the nation that we are beating Nigeria, and I'm very confident about that one.
With that sporting item, we conclude our news at 18 hours. But before we go, a reminder of the top stories. Police have charged a 15-year-old boy of Lusaka's George compound with defilement. This follows an incident where the grade 7 pupil allegedly defiled a 2-year-old girl of the same compound on Sunday. The Attorney General Chambers says it was wrong for the Constitutional Court to order the ministers and deputy ministers to repay the salaries and allowances that they got after the dissolution of Parliament. The state says the judgment by the Constitutional Court contradicts the constitutional provision that forbids forced labor and slavery. And finally, the most powerful Caribbean hurricane in nearly a decade has hit Haiti, bringing 230 kilometers per hour winds, heavy rain, and dangerous storm surges. Hurricane Matthew, a Category 4 storm, made landfall at the southwest tip at about 11 hours GMT. And that's it for the news at 18. But for more news, you can join us at 20 hours. My name is Obstan Bebe. It's bye-bye.